accounting can be not fun, especially when you're stressed and not knowing what to do. You know, you have the money, how do you handle it, and so on. And, you know, it depends on how you feel. It's just a lot of different aspects when it comes to accounting, and especially taxes. Taxes can be extremely stressful, especially upon a business, not only individuals, but definitely upon businesses. Doesn't matter if it's a small business, medium-sized business, or even a large corporation, taxes is always stressful. So that's where accountants come in and help you guys out, basically to ease the mind. That's where my butterfly comes in, freedom from being stressed on, oh my God, my numbers, where do I stand, where's my goal, and so on and so forth. So as I go through my slide, you know, what is accounting? Now, accounting is not only about numbers and about all. I'm not sure if you guys can see this here, sorry. Trying to move my thing here. Okay. So, yeah, what is accounting? Of course, it's the communication, processing, and measurements of financials, information entities such as businesses and corporations, of course. You know, it's a way of sorting, you know, storing, retrieving, summarizing, resulting all of your business reports and having, analyzing them, you know, basically, again, for, you know, your future mind. Then, you know, it's one of the ways, you know, whether or not you are making profit, to see where your cash flow stands, you know, your basic, you know, where your current value of your company is, you know, your assets and your liabilities, basically knowing where you stand, you know, that's what accounting is, you know, how much money you do have, you don't have, what can you do, you know, how fast can you move, or how slow you have to move in the process. So accounting is really important in order for us to move and continue to go. All right, so again, the importance of it, of course, is one of the most important, you know, for the growth of the business, you know, to where your financials stand, basically for new ideas, for planning, investments, you know, and so on. You know, not having that in mind, or basically in books so you can physically, you know, see for yourself, it could definitely hurt your future goals and the thoughts that you did have in mind, like, you know, on the growth of a business, from starting from home to making your, you know, getting your own location, to getting multiple locations, doing a call center, whatever it is. You have to have that accounting inset to know exactly what you're doing and where you're going with it. And besides, with accounting, like I said, the IRS makes it important because the taxes are always due. That's why it's the most important of all, because the IRS will make sure that we're due. All right, so basically your basic steps of it when you're starting, just like what Josh said earlier, you know, when you're starting a business, you know, it's about you and what you need to do. Once you have that goal-minded and you got it, like he said, now in your hands, you write it down. The first thing you do is you hire an accountant. You can hire me, no, but there are so many good accountants out there. There are good accountants, and there's good bookkeepers and so on out there, whether for large businesses, small businesses, that we can help you out with that. You need to have all of your information set, from entity registration with your state, your federal tax ID. It's, you know, very important. Obviously, it separates you from your Social Security number, your business licenses, and the most important, your business banking account. Number 3 is so important. I always make sure when I first meet a new business that they're, you know, doing the entity, the last thing I tell them to do after all is your business account. Keep your business account and your personal account completely separate. This will help you grow and have a better mindset for your company. If you're using both your personal, that's obviously understandable because you're starting off, but eventually it's good to have both of them separate so that we have a better mindset, again, for the goals on it. Having a policy and procedures in line for your business is also good in the accounting part as well, because you're going to know what you can and can't do. It depends on the business itself, and, you know, basically what you can, what you should, you can't, and basically what you want to do. And then 5, you know, let's just grow your business. I mean, we start again from the bottom all the way going to the top. Right, so some accounting, these are just some accounting methods, you know, to help you grow. I can go all day with accounting with this, so we only have a few minutes here. Payroll, obviously everybody wants to get paid. So as a business, it's very important to keep our employees. So payroll is, that's why I put it as number 1, because even though we're running it, you know, we're the owners of it, but our employees are so important. They're the ones that are helping us run our business, because if our employees are not there, we have to be there. And then we can't be on our business, we would have to be in our business. So that's one of the importance of, our payroll. Quarterly and monthly taxes, those are important as well. Depends if you're sales, if you have sales in there, obviously for your employer taxes and so on. Bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is one of the most important aspects of your business, where you get to see everything from in and out, from your income, your profit and loss, your balance sheet, your everything that you can see that what's going to happen, whether it's in the next 3 months, whether in the next year or two. Bookkeeping is the best. I always agree that bookkeeping, like with QuickBooks or Excel, whichever you want to use in the beginning, it's so important because every dime matters, every penny matters, no matter what you're spending on. Doesn't matter if it's 50 cents on a pen or a dollar, does not matter to $500,000. Bookkeeping is so important. Every dime and every penny matters. Forecasting. Forecasting is nice, because the forecasting, you are able to see, you'll see in my next slides, how important forecasting is. Budgeting. Budgeting is not only for accounting, budgeting is for yourself. Where do you stand? Where do you want to stand? And budgeting is very important for both accounting and as a business person. Spreadsheets. I am so old-fashioned. I love spreadsheets. Those are my favorite. I love Google Sheets. I love Excel sheets. Those are my all-time favorite, because they're there. They're always going to be there, and you can print them out. So yes, that's the old-fashioned that I like. Logbooks, they're pretty fun too, especially, again, you'll see in my next slides, the different type of logbooks that we can use. So again, so with payroll, you have your W-2 employees, 1099 self-contractors. Again, very important to keep those records in hand with that. Quarterly and monthly taxes, like I was saying, it's very important. The IRS wants that payment in advance, and it also helps you too not to pay so much at the end of the year as well. So it's really helpful with that. Bookkeeping, again, it is so important to have all of that data and your tax planning and your strategy, and to have that strategic in line to make sure everything is set for there and every penny is used for, like I said. I mean, again, I can't stress how important bookkeeping is. Doesn't matter if you're just starting, that's the best time to start your bookkeeping, is when you're starting. Whether you started with $50 in your account, it's perfect. Because eventually when you get to 500,000, then, you're not scruffing to see where did it go, how did it happen, who did it, so on and so forth. So bookkeeping is, to me, the most important. Forecasting, like I said, forecasting to me, it's a historic data. I mean, it predicts your future cost. It's a planning purpose to have it. It's an estimate, to know, when the money is coming in, when exactly, so that way you can plan that strategic plan that you have for in a month, 2 months, in a quarter, a year, it doesn't matter. That forecasting is a very good help for that. If you're starting off, using Excel is the best way. I have a template. If you guys ever needed a template for that, you guys can call me, email me, text, Facebook, doesn't matter. I love sharing the Excel template. It helps so many people out. It helps them know, where they stand. Oh, okay, I should get money by this month so I can buy this for the office. Simple things like that. Budgeting, again, I mean, it helps create, your spending, your savings plan, to ensure that you will have enough money, make sure that you have enough to grow. Basically keeps you in line. The budgeting keeps you definitely, to know that you're not getting yourself into debt, or into at least more debt than you would probably already have. If you currently have debt, that's perfectly fine. The budgeting helps you to get rid of that one and not get yourself into a bigger one, or, get yourself scrambled into multiple debts. Budgeting to me is very mindful as well. And not only with accounting, like I said, it's definitely mindful as a business person as well too. Spreadsheets, like I said, I love spreadsheets, as of course it's easy, and to me it's obviously cheap. Example, Google. I know a lot of people don't like using Google Docs and Google spreadsheets and so on, but it is honestly the best way to start. That's my opinion. It's the best way to start. It's free. And it also helps, for your business to keep track of, like if your employees are using it too, you're able to share it with them. You're able to share it even with investors. A lot of investors like to see and like to be shared that, so that way they can see where their money is going, how it's being invested, and I think that spreadsheets are the best for that, especially in the accounting world with that. There's so many, different ways that it would stand when it comes again to the spreadsheets and so on. Keeps you organized. I love organization, so that's the way I'd like to continue to grow my business as well as everybody else's business. Logbooks. There is different type of logbooks. Very, very helpful. Um, Especially if you don't know, if you're like on, contractor on the road constantly or in the field, and the logbook is, yes, manually you're able to write in there, especially if you're not comfortable with any data systems like QuickBooks and so on. With that, logbooks are the best. Most common logbook is used is for miles. Obviously, a lot of people use them, especially like truckers, delivery, so on and so forth. But you can also use it even as a notary like myself. I have my own logbook because I can't be on the road with my computer or on my tablet or so on. I just log it in right away while I'm parked in the parking lot, and then I leave, So logbooks are very important. Again, whether it doesn't matter what business you're in. I mean, like I said, even as a notary, the logbook is so helpful, and then when I get back, because by the time you get back to your office, you're going to forget. So having that, and as soon as you open it, oh yeah, I had this, or I did this many miles or this much money or whatever it is, or what was owed. Logbook is also the best, or like we call it, a scrap notebook, whichever works for you. All right, so everybody's favorite is taxes. Taxes, yes, it can be very, very stressful, but of course it's the most important in the accounting world is the taxes. So not only payroll and so on and so forth, but taxes is, of course, the scary part. As soon as you get that letter from the IRS, I think everybody wants to have a heart attack with that. My phone rings immediately as soon as the IRS, they receive a letter, and that's okay. I'm used to it, and I love to help out, on whatever, the IRS is asking for. As we all know, the IRS and state taxations are, a way of being on the books legally, of course, and using information for personal and business purposes, such as loans, home, for home, a car, and so on. You want to buy a home, you want to buy a business, location, you want to buy so on. With all of that, taxes are very important for that. So not only having your profit and loss in your balance sheet, but of course, all of the loan officers, they always ask for your taxes. It's so important to have that as well. All right. Another importance when it comes to the taxes, I can't stress this enough, is filing them on time. Filing them on time is so important. I mean, it keeps you from doing extensions. Extensions can be very, very helpful. Don't get me wrong on that. Extensions are very helpful, but no matter what, you're still going to have a penalty. It'll say it there clearly. You're still going to end up paying a small percentage of penalty if you did the extension and you owe taxes and you didn't pay it right there and then. So my opinion with that as the accountant, and if I am your accountant, I stress that we have from as soon as January 1st hits, we have till, depending if you're a corporation, we have till March. If you're not, you have till April 15th. Before that, we had 12 months to gather everything and get everything together. Everything we had it, except for December. For December, obviously, January comes in. So now in January, we have all of December. So now we have from January to December of example 2019 to get started on your 2020 taxes. So we have now January, February, March for corporates, and then April all the way through to have everything on time. And I cannot express how important it is. Let's do this on time. Let's not do an extension. Let's not get that penalty. Let's not pay that extra money you don't need to pay. That's where the bookkeeping mindset comes in. Let's not do that. Let's do this on time. Let's not do these interests. Let's keep our interests, because if you add those interests throughout the months or throughout the years, you could have made something with that, bought something new for your office, or had something great for your employees, something to keep in mind. Very, very simple. But, if you can't have it on time, that's perfectly fine. That's the reason why they have extensions. But that's just, again, on the accounting part. Taxes. Okay, so individual taxes. We all file as individual taxes. So you'll get like small businesses or new businesses that don't understand. They say, well, I need to do my individual, and what about my business? Or do I do just business, not individual, because I'm not a W-2 or a 1099 and so on? Yes, we always do individual taxes. I mean, that's where the word 1040 comes in. That's your form. With individual taxes, whether you have a business or not, you're still filing them. These, the bullet point, or, these have individual deductions, such as student loan interest, American Opportunity Tax Credit, lifetime learning credit, your child credit, dependent child credit, earned income credit, and so far. Those are obviously your regular individual ones. Yes, the IRS does change it yearly. This is why we have an education course. I go to my course every December just to get the new laws, the new regulations, and so on. It's really good to have it because you're able to introduce that to your clients and let them understand and know, hey, this is what's new or no. And, you get the questions of, oh, don't, example, don't I get $2,000, per kid? It's the secret word of up to $2,000. So it's not that they're going to give you the whole, they can obviously, but it also depends, what, if it's your child, stepchild, nephew, niece, brother, sister, so on. So it's up to 2,000, for that tax year. It can go down, it can go up. It all depends on what the IRS says in December when we go to class. Filing statuses are the standard deduction for the individual tax return. That's something where a lot of people obviously don't understand. As a tax preparer, we do. It's just basically how you filing status from single to head of household, married filing jointly, married filing separate. It is the amount, the deduction is the amount. For example, for married filing jointly this year is $24,400. And so if you made exactly $24,400 between you and your spouse, you get zero if you don't have any children, so on. So it's like it's already been based off, it's really different how to show it and versus, me explaining it, here. I mean, we can take forever. We'll be here till probably Monday afternoon just explaining the deductions on that part. So if you have questions on that, please give us a call. We'll definitely answer that. The filing status amount changes every year. So I'll have clients come in with their individual taxes from 2015 saying, I owed so much, I don't want to pay, or 2017. And when I look at the filing status, it was extremely low. I mean, even for married filing jointly, it was only 12,002 or 12,000, give or take, whatever year it was. And it's such a big difference to now where it's 24,000. It's a big jump. So, even if you want to amend your taxes, it's good to look at it, give let you guys know exactly what happened, what was the filing status for that year, the amount that it was, and then go from there with that. So just something to keep in mind when, if you ever have that question, go to your accountant, your tax preparer, and they'll be, happy to, assist you with that, of course. Filing date is always April 15th. If it falls on a Sunday, then of course, April 16th is on a Monday. Obviously, because of what's happening this year with our COVID situation, they have extended it to July 15th. Also, even if you've already done your taxes and you owe the IRS, you still have the opportunity to pay that amount before accruing the interest and the penalties before July 15th, which is obviously a good opportunity to pay those taxes as fast as you can, if that's even possible with that. With the individual taxes, I'm getting a lot of calls about the stimulus check. The stimulus checks are going into effect, obviously, or have been already into effect with direct deposits. They're gradually putting, some yes, some no. They're basing it off of 2018 and also 2019. The good thing is those who have not done their 2019, and if you don't have an account in 2018, like your direct deposit account, we're still able to file your taxes and put that in there, even if you put your direct deposit information in there, even if you're going to owe the IRS. So with that being said, so we'll do your taxes, or your tax preparer can do your taxes. Even if you want to pay the IRS with a check like you're accustomed to doing, so on with that, we will select that you're paying that with a check, but it also asks if you want us to put your direct deposit for your stimulus check only, if you qualify up to the $1,200 that they're offering and $500 per dependent. So that's, a lot of people have called me on the difference on that. As of yesterday, I think it's as of yesterday, the IRS has put into their system where you can log in or go in and put your direct deposit information. It seems like there's a glitch, obviously, because everybody's trying to go in with that. So I guess bear with them. Those who receive SSI and Social Security, SSA, do not have to do anything as of yet, as of right now. That's what they're saying. Every day it changes, even every hour. Like I tell my clients, it can change every minute. We don't know. The IRS does have their ways. Calling is not ideal now because the lines are busy and they're very limited to their employees as well. So, but if you guys have any more questions on it, feel free to call me. If I don't have the answer, we're going to find the answer with that. All right, our business taxes. The best one ever. These taxes are the one that shows your business at the end of the year financials. We want to know, where do we stand? Where did my company stand? The IRS does understand that the first 2 to 3 years you can be at red, and that's okay, because you're building your brand, you're building your company, you are trying to get somewhere with that. And it's okay to have losses, because obviously we have to invest in order to, gain that profit. So that's okay. A lot of people get disappointed. They want to quit. They want to just be done. Just like Josh said, by the end of the year, your plans went downhill. Don't feel discouraged. It's going to happen. It's okay to lose. Everyone that has a small business that's only been up for a year, 2 or 3, understands where I'm coming from with this. It will happen. We will grow. Always have that positive mindset. The best thing about having the business taxes are the benefits of expenses, deductions, depreciations. These are just some that I've put on here, because if I continue to put, it would be like 4 slides later, so on with that. But like your vehicle expenses, home, rental of the business location, utilities, bonus depreciation, professional services, salaries and wages, work opportunity, office supplies expenses, client and employee entertainment, like your office party. So if you guys do a nice office party, or even meals every Friday or something, that is all deductible, which is awesome. Bank charges, and even disaster and theft. So if we have our, us in Florida with our dearest hurricane seasons and stuff, that, IRS is really good with helping us recover what we have lost. Theft or fire or so on, they're also really good with that too. Even carryovers from previous year. I have a star next to it, because if you did not have your carryovers from the year prior on that same year's tax, you are able to carry it the following year. So that's something really good to have in mind. So it's not like you lost out, it's really good. Insurances, it can be from your car insurance, as long as the vehicles belong to the company. It could be from the insurances for your employees, the company insurance, and so on. A lot of people ask me, the differences, or what can I do, which insurance I can do and cannot do. Tools, cost of goods, that's really good. The cost of goods are the ones that have not been paid for yet. So those are the ones you're able to do at the end of the year, like computers and so on, that you still have but have not sold. Those are the examples. Education, of course, it's the best way, obviously, to grow, and education is, something that we can deduct, and there's more. That's why I expressed it so much, that there is more. The 3 stars on my next bullet is the startup expense. When you first open up your business, you are able to deduct up to $5,000 in startup expenses. That is so helpful when it comes to the taxes. I can sit here and I can explain, but that's where my number will come in, so you guys can call me. That is so helpful for us, especially as business starters. We want to start going and, and how, but I have to put this much money in, that is so helpful for us to deduct. This even includes like the marketing and advertising, Sonda, with the marketing and advertising, it's perfect, that, travel, employee pay, for training and so on. It's awesome that, especially that first year when you open, to know that you are able to do that startup expense. I think that it's so helpful. Filing dates vary. Again, I put April 15. That's usually for the individuals, but for corporations and so on, the dates are in March. There's different dates, and it depends on the S Corp, C Corp, and so on with that. If you have any questions on that, please, call me. We'll talk. We'll have a one-to-one, whichever it is, a Zoom one-to-one, because obviously now I can't see people. It's so sad, face-to-face. So again, my presentation isn't so long because it's accounting, and I don't want anybody to fall asleep by my 3rd slide, but business accounting, accounting and taxes is the most important thing in your company. It's what's going to help you grow. It's what's going to give you, the mindset of the future, in your goals in 5 years. That's why I put in the next 5 years. What's your goal in the next 5 years? So like Josh said, you already have your goals set. You already have, okay, I'm going to do this. That's your startup. But once you see that income, once I'm giving you your profit, like this is what your profit is, this is what you have to play with, that's so much fun, that's like, giving a woman, a credit card and she can go shopping, like, that's the same thing with the accounting world. Accounting should not be stressful. It is, to me, it is fun because it lets me know, hey, your company made this much, you can now do this, this was your goal, let's do that. Definitely it helps you plan, in the next, 5 years example, or, in the near future for investments, to invest and to buy whatever it is, and like I said, regardless of how boring and strict and stressful accounting can be, when it comes to that money and so on. I mean, growing your business, the accounting is what takes a huge, huge, great part of it, because if you don't pay your taxes, the IRS is going to come after you. So then what happens to your business? It drops down, obviously. If you don't know where you stand, I mean, you can go into such a big debt, and what happens? You close your business down. And to begin a business to go straight down the following year, obviously that's painful, because like he said, it's your baby. The business is your baby. That's what you want. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see your baby grow. It's like a child. You want your baby to grow. Your business is your baby, and you want her to grow. And again, I can't stress enough how important it is to have everything on the books. It doesn't matter if you just started January 1st. It doesn't matter if you just did your LLC yesterday, Friday. Get it started immediately. Again, even if it's $25 that you just opened this account, we're going to make that $25 continue to grow. Yes, you'll have expenses. I mean, that's obviously no doubt, but I know people use credit cards, and that credit card, we can flip it to where it's actually a good way to, basically, the credit cards are not the best idea to start buying your business stuff, basically loans and so on are, but at the same time, people use them because they feel, they can. That's okay. As an accountant, as a bookkeeper, we help you out with that. I mean, there's so many strategies on how to do that and how to help for that.